I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars.
What's good? We're going to get into AEW Dynamite from August the 12th, 2026. This was a bad show, very bad show. I was bored out of my mind for most of this show. Didn't really pay attention to much of the show, and that's not good. We are 2 weeks away until we get to All Out, and they haven't really done much of anything except for announce a bunch of nonsensical matches for All Out. But hey, it is what it is, man. So whatever. It is what it is at this point. They didn't even further anything with the main event scene. That was a nothing burger. That was a flop. So that's not good. But hey, whatever. So we kicked the show off with Will Ospreay. He cut a really long promo talking about how his pops passed away and everything else. He called out Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega didn't show up, but instead Don Callis showed up. Don Callis began to reminisce about his time with Kenny Omega and everything else, and then how he betrayed Omega and all that jazz. And he reminds Will Ospreay that he's all alone and everything. Moxley's left him and all that since he left the Death Riders. And he says he owes Will his career, basically. So the Don Callis family, they show up and they jump Will Ospreay. Kenny Omega shows up with a lead pipe, takes out the Don Callis family. And then him and Will have a little chat. Kenny says that he told Will not to trust John Moxley or Don Callis. And he basically said that this is the last time he's going to help him out. And Will said that he didn't really need Kenny's help. So, whatever. I don't know what the fuck this really means. I couldn't tell you guys. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what the fuck any of this really even meant. And it's not good, man. It's not good. This was a long segment. It was like a good maybe 16 minutes. Like, this thing went on for a good while. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? But it seems like these guys don't hate each other enough, and they don't have enough time to add more intensity and animosity and friction among both guys. Pause. But, you know, to add just a little bit of heat in this thing. But, I mean, it's too late. Maybe this is what Omega and Ospreay both want. So, I don't fucking know. All right, moving on from that. This leads us into the first match of the night. MJF defeats Speedball Mike Bailey and Nick Wayne to qualify for the number 2 spot for the Casino Gauntlet. MJF wins. Didn't really watch the match. Didn't really care. So, post-match, MJF got on the mic. And he basically says that he never lost the AEW World Championship. So then he ended up playing Andrade El Idolo's music. So Max began to, start laughing and all that stuff. He said he's going to whoop Andrade's ass. I mean, Andrade's not here because he whooped his ass last week, and he's a gutless worm. And then he makes fun of both Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. And that was it. He said he's the one true champion. So they're doing this nonsensical shit that they did with CM Punk, where he's the the real world champion. I don't like this. This is lame as fuck. This has been done time immemorial in pro wrestling, and AEW still continues to do it. They did this when CM Punk was with AEW, when he came back on Collision and all that. I can't remember when that was, but that was in 2023. And they were doing something. I think Max was the champion at the time. It was either Max or Samoa Joe. One of the two. I can't really fucking remember. But they've done this before. Now they're trying to go back and do it again. This is not good. Just bad shit. Moving on from that, this leads us into the Divine Dominion. They just cut a promo about how they're going to hurt the Brawling Brutes and the Brawling Birds and put them down and everything else. And then they ended up laying waste to a bar, just pouring out the beer and all that. They should have, got like baseball bats and hockey sticks and just absolutely just tarnish the bar, just absolutely destroy it. But didn't happen. But who cares? Whatever. Moving on, Jay White was on this show. He talked about how he's going to hurt David Finlay and he's going to take out Jon Moxley because he's going to be the new Continental Champion. I don't care about this at all. Moving on, Jay White defeats David Finlay. Didn't really watch this match. Didn't care. I know this was a long, drawn-out match for both guys. Whatever. Don't really care about this shit at all. I expected more for David Finlay, but does it really matter at this point in time? No, it doesn't, because David Finlay and Jay White, they're still doing Bullet Club shit. Bullet Club has been over with for over a decade. Enough of the bullshit. Drop it. We need to see more from these guys. We really do. Like, it's annoying. It's absolutely annoying that they're still doing Bullet Club shit. This is not like 2010, 2012. Come on. Like, get the fuck over yourself. Really. Seriously, get the fuck over yourselves. Moving on from that, this leads us into the Trios Champions. They came out. Hangman Adam Page, Brody King, and Bandito. They showed up. They yapped and everything else. Swerve showed up for whatever reason. I don't know why Swerve showed up. I'm guessing maybe he might be doing something with the Hurt Syndicate, maybe. But anyway, he showed up and he kind of made fun of them and all that stuff and everything else. Yada, yada, yada. Then Ricochet and the Man Day came out. They had some words. I didn't really care about this stuff at all. Basically, Ricochet called Swerve a bitch and everything else. No, Swerve called Ricochet a bitch and everything, and then he ended up leaving. So, I don't know. Who cares about this shit? This is just lame. I imagine they're probably going to do it like a triple threat. 9-man tag, basically. Tornado tag, because AEW fans love that shit for whatever reason. So, I wouldn't be shocked if we end up seeing, like Ricochet, Bobby Lashley, my bad, the Demand, Hangman, and Brodito, and you involve Swerve and the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, because we haven't seen them in a while. I don't know if they're on Collision or Ring of Honor or wherever they are. I mean, I am just at a loss of words. Like, the Hurt Syndicate last year and back in 2024, they were super hot, but they have been cooled off tremendously, and it's like they're in Antarctica. That's really where they're at, I think. So it is what it is at this point. Doesn't really matter, but I do expect for that to make the all-in card. And AEW fans, they love stuff like that. So whatever. I don't give a shit about this show. This show sucks. Moving on from that, this leads us into Kevin Knight defeating Chris Jericho. It is what it is. I don't care about this at all either. Kevin Knight ended up winning via the low blow. Don Callis tried to stab Jericho with the screwdriver, which he did. And, boy, I I don't get it, man. I really don't. I feel bad for Chris Jericho. I really do feel bad for Chris Jericho. I'm not going to hold you guys up. I do. I feel bad for him. He needs to be in a WWE like nobody's business. Hopefully he can jump ship sometime next year. So hopefully he's just with AEW for like a year. Because there is no need for him to continue staying with AEW. He's been with the promotion since the beginning. And I have grown kind of tired of Jericho. I mean, again, I'm a fan of Jericho, but this version of Jericho, what he's been doing for the last, like, I'd say, like, for the last 4 years has just not been good. And, I'm kind of ready for him to kind of go to, we'll go back to WWE, get into the Hall of Fame, and tie up some stories over in WWE. But that probably won't happen, so... But whatever, man. This is just lame, man. Just lame. Moving on from that, for whatever reason, Claudio Castagnoli, he showed up on this show for whatever reason. He says he doesn't care who's next. He'll treat them all the same. So Pac, he chimes in and says it's them against the world. John Moxley steps up and says crazy things could happen in this tournament. And he could go out there tonight and Jack Perry could shock the world. Is he prepared like he is? Is he ready like he is? Maybe it doesn't matter because Fortune has a habit of doing just that she pleases. I don't care about this shit at all. I really don't. Moving on, Chris Statlander, she ended up defeating Viva Van. I don't care about this at all. Mick Foley came out. He interviewed Chris Statlander. Said that there's going to be a fatal 4-way at All In involving Maya World, Chris Statlander, Hikaru Shida, and who else? Persephone. So it's going to be those 4 ladies duking it out. And then Statlander said that she feels great. She's ready to fight, and she feels fantastic. She said that Maya World, she's proud of her. She's been the TBS champion. I mean, she deserves to hold the title and all that. But for Stephanie and Sheeta, she'll make them bend over backwards and shove their heads up their own asses for every belt shot. So she's gonna make them pay. Okay, whatever. That's fine. I don't care about this at all. I'm ready for Chris Statlander to go to either TNA or NXT. Enough of being in AEW. She has been wasting away for quite some time, and I, for one, am sick of it. I truly am sick of it. Moving on from that, I forgot to mention Mercedes Moné. She was on this show, and she ended up attacking Willow and beating the crap out of her with the AEW Women's Championship, beat her up, and she called her a bitch, and that was it. And I'm like, okay, so we're not going to do anything else? We're not going to have another little promo battle? And this was probably done on, like, either Twitter or Instagram. So, I don't know, man. This is not good. This is not good. Got to do something. You got 2 weeks left to keep on building what you're, building between Mercedes and Willow Nightingale, but I don't know. We have to wait and see, man. But this was not good. This wasn't good. This wasn't good. But whatever, man. Whatever. And I forgot to mention Hikaru Shida and Persephone, they lost to Thunder Rosa and Maya World. So, there's that. That match took place on this show. Do I care? No, I don't. I really don't. I think I already mentioned that, so whatever. Moving on from that, this leads us into Darby Allin. He was on this show. He says that he has no regrets about his title reign, defending the title every week and burning the candle at both ends. Now Kevin Knight is burning the candle at both ends. He beat Chris Jericho, the first ever AEW World Champion, tonight. But at Wembley, it's going to be Falls Count Anywhere. And if Kevin Knight can beat him at his own game, then he'll have officially lived up to the potential that Darby saw in him years ago. Okay, this is fine, I guess, but do I care about this? No, I don't. They haven't really done much of anything with Darby or Kevin Knight. They've done nothing. Double or Nothing was 3 months ago. This thing should have continued. At Redemption. Like, this is where we should have gotten the blow-off matches at Redemption, but we didn't do that. So, I don't know, man. I really don't fucking know. Moving on from that, this leads us into the Don Callis family. Kyle Fletcher was on this show. He cut a little promo backstage and everything else. So, apparently it's going to be a triple threat match at All In to involve Takeshita and Okada and Kyle Fletcher. I don't care about this because Don Callis doesn't give a fuck about the Don Callis family. I don't care about this at all. I really don't. Should be a fine match, but do I care? No, there's no story involved. Moving on from that, let's lead us into the main event of the evening. Jon Moxley defeats Jack Perry. Yay. Who cares? I really don't. I wanted to bang my head against the wall until I lost consciousness watching this match. This was pathetic. And this was Dynamite. Very weak. Nothing happened on this show. Just making random matches. No story. But hey, it's to the sickos, it's good graps, man. It's all about, getting in those wrestling matches and all that shit. But I don't know. I don't give a damn. This show sucked. This show sucks. And we got like 2 shows left. 4 if you count Collision, but I don't count Collision. So it's really just you got 2 A shows left to see what they do. But man, Vegas, they didn't give a fuck about this show. And why would they? Just a mediocre garbage show. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I think it's going to be just as bad next week, if not worse. But Dynamite just wasn't good at all. Just a boring waste of 2+ hours. But hey, it is what it is. What did you guys think of the show? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.